Hey everybody, welcome to Shifty's Club. Today, I'm going to talk about the extended format because it's Wednesday and I've got a treat for all of you. Now, this should go into the Rogue Sunday, but because it's extended format and it just goes into a deck that's already in format, I think that this would be a very good time to talk about it. Everybody knows how bad Rails is tearing up the extended format. Um, Even other decks that run with Electric from Noble Victories. For those of you who don't know what it does, well, Electric has an ability, Dynamotor, and once during your turn before you attack, you may take a lightning energy from your discard pile and attach it to one of your bench Pokemon. Now, this has been tearing up the format for a long time. And last year's standard format, it was already tearing up the scenes. Everybody loved Ray Eels and even Ray Boar, but because of the bye of Electric, we had to find other ways to do so. And because he returned in the extended format, we are now able to run the Electric combo with Rayquaza EX. However, guys, there's another Rayquaza EX coming out. So we're going to have a really long talk about which one is probably the better play. Anyway, that's not important. Here is the prize or special present I got for all of you. Now, I'm sure everybody knows that with Electric, you attach the energy to the bench. That might be a problem even with cards like Sky Narrow Bridge, which could also help your opponent. Your opponent could abuse the stadium or take as much use as they can, then discard it, play their own, and take double advantage of stadiums. But I think that with this next card, you guys won't be worried at all about half the stuff that's going on. Because with this card, you are going to want to flood max potions in your deck. Trust me. What is this card? The Eelektross from Primal Clash. Okay, now those of you who haven't thought of this from the beginning of the Primal Clash set, it's definitely a viable strategy. And for those of you who don't even know what it does, here's what it does. Eelektross is a stage 2, evolves from Electric, and what it does is its ability allows you to, as often as you like during your turn, move a basic energy card from one of your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. This is awesome! Because what happens here is even after Rayquaza uses its attack to discard literally like every energy except for one fire, they can still throw the max potion. All you're losing is one energy. And if you got a fire somewhere else, bring a firepower up, baby. And start getting those dyno motors working, then guess what? Eelektross. The energy onto the active spot. You literally take up no more space in the deck than you've already done. It works as a tech of one of or two of. I run two. A 2 count for a very good reason is because I already run, and people are going to hate me for this, but I run a 4-4. Okay, good. For a second there, I thought you and the U.S. Army were going to kill me for that. Oh, God, that hurts. Anyway, guys, the reason I bring this up is that it's a very good strategy. People have overlooked this when the Primal Clash first came out. There were many electric runners But even at the Florida Regionals, there still wasn't enough people, or there wasn't anybody running Eelektross from Primal Clash in their decks that involve electric in the extended format. And I don't understand why, because in situations you're relying on Skynarrow Bridge where stadiums are a viable part of our format. Think about it. You have Burbank City Gym that players need to get their strategies going. You have Fighting Stadium, which players need to get their strategy going. Dimension Valley, Shadow Circle, Fairy Garden. I've even seen Flareon decks that run Plasma Frigade and Frozen City. So yeah, there are plenty of decks that require specific stadiums in order to function. And without them, the strategy falls. And with Tropical Beach, as far as I know, it's rotated. And with that, that brings up a very serious question. And that question is, what exactly are we going to do to replace the card? Well, you have so many different cards to think about, and there's so many other cards to replace. Going back to my original statement, Skynarrow Bridge or not, I wouldn't heavily rely on one stadium to keep giving you the retreat that you need and trying to maintain 2 fire energy at a time. It's just not really worth it to me. I mean, in situations where you have to heal your Pokemon, you've always got the opportunity to retreat, but then Eelektross can pretty much just switch the energy over onto your new active. So Skynarrow Bridge, I would run, but guys, I wouldn't run no more than like 2 or 3. Definitely wouldn't max it out at 4. Like, I know a lot of people do, because they're very afraid of Burbank City Gym. God, I am too, but, you know. Now, I probably won't be running this for the Georgia Regionals, or Athens Regionals. And as I said before, Eelektross just fits into any electric build because it pretty much just gives exactly what electric can offer, and that's a way to get those energy from the bench to the active. And I think the Pokemon company did this to see who was going to catch on to this. Now, I have seen, like I said, I've seen 0 people at Florida Regionals try this combo. Of course, I know several people that play in Florida. I know people who got all the deck lists or whatnot, but a lot of them said that there was absolutely no Eelektross in the extended format down there. So it gets me to thinking, is that even possible? But as I've said before, everything is possible, I guess, but in these situations, you just absolutely have to use every resource you have in order to get ahead in the game. And that's why I don't understand why people don't play Eelektross. Now, I'm not going to try to take up too much of you guys' time because I know your time is as valuable as mine. But I want to leave you with a couple more insiders to the way I think about the format. Now, of course, I'm not the best deck builder, but any player like Ness or Chuck, if they build some really, or even if Ness brought me a deck that he would run at a world championship and try to win with, chances are I would be able to get pretty far with the deck. Not probably as far as him, but I'm probably going to be as far. But that reverting my next point, I'm not that great at deck building, but I do understand techs in the metagame and how they work out specifically. And this card could be considered a tech, but I would consider it a staple inside of electric decks, or electric. I hate having to emphasize the eel, but you guys get what I mean. Regardless what the deck situation is, there's always going to be a reason for new specific cards that come out. Just like Skeptile should be in with a lot of different grass decks, taking out several different concepts and bringing it in. That reverting to my point that Electric was already the most hyped card in the format and should be looked at to put in Eelektross. Now guys, I know that doesn't sound like too good of a spot, but there are always going to be cards that can make a deck better that other players haven't thought of, or at least that they have, they start to second guess or question. Only by testing can we ever determine whether or not those cards are viable. The second piece of information I offer is one that I learned when I first played the game when I was 7, back in 1999. Anyway, guys, that piece of information is very vital, and that's never estimate a card until you've tried it. Basically, I would practice with every single card that you want to put in a deck. Try it. I know there's tons of people who try to build decks overnight. There's a bunch of people who try to build decks months in advance and never test with different combinations. But all I gotta say, guys, is if you think that you can come up with a tech for a deck and make it work, do it. Like I said, it'd save you a lot of time. Even if it's on the online, even if it's against a neighbor, even if it's against Dolly Parton. Oh god, that hurts so bad. You know what I mean. Anyway, guys, I'm rambling on, so I'm just gonna go and let you guys go. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Post any comments you have in the comment section down below. And as always, hope you guys have as much fun time as I've had, and I'll see you guys next time at Shifty's Club.